Hey guys, welcome to part 1 of 3 for the Intro to Sysadmin course. So we have 10 tasks for you today. What I want you to do is go ahead and pause this video. Do as much of it as you can on your own. Some of these are dependent on the other tasks, so if you do a couple tasks and then you come into one where you can't do one with the other, go ahead and skip that and just keep doing as much as you can. When you get to a point where you can't do anymore, go ahead and unpause the video and we'll go through it together. Alright guys. Hopefully you've been able to do as much as you can on here, if not all of it. Either way, we're going to go over this together and make sure you did it correctly. First task here, we're going to be creating a user and their password. And users can be Alex and passwords can be AB123. So let's do that on our machine here. So we're creating a user or adding a user. So we're going to do user add command. We're going to supply the username, which is going to be Alex. Okay. We're going to change the password for Alex. So we're going to use the passwd command or password command for Alex. It's going to be AB123. And notice it's not actually typing anything on the screen. This is a security feature for Linux. Don't worry, you are actually typing something in. And you'll notice a warning message says the password is shorter than 8 characters. We can ignore that. That's just a guideline telling you, hey, the password's a little insecure. It would be better if it was longer. It'll go ahead and let us set the password, though. It's not going to prevent us. And as you see, it says all authentication tokens updated successfully. So we changed that password for Alex. Let's look at the next user we're going to create here, which is going to be Tom with a password of UU544, except we're going to create a custom home directory for Tom. It's going to be /home/directory1. So let's do that. We're going to do user add again. But we're going to do -m for make home directory and -d for directory. We're going to give the custom home directory we want, which is /home/directory_1. And then we need to supply the user account that we're creating as well as for who we're creating this home directory for. So we did two things in one command here. We created a custom home directory for Tom, but we also created the home or the user Tom. Now let's go ahead and change the password for Tom. So passwd Tom. Okay. Remember his password is UU544. UU544. We'll do it again. UU544. All authentication tokens updated successfully. So Tom now has a fully functional password. We'll clear the screen. We'll look at our next user here. So create the below user, Jessica Henderson with password 8899RR. So we want to do a full username. This is a bit of a trick question, guys. So the user add command can't actually do a full username like that. We can't do a one name and then a space and then another name, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to do first initial and then Henderson. We're going to do -C for comment. We're going to do quotation mark and we're going to put the full name. So what this is doing is it's adding a comment in the file for this user ID, and it's giving the full name, okay? So what can happen here is we might actually have two people with the same first name and the same last name, okay? Or we might have two people with the same last name and the same first name initial. It might be confusing because we'll see two user IDs with the same first initial and last name. But we can go to the file and look at the actual comment here and see, okay, these are two different IDs here, and this is what the actual full name for it is. So a little bit of a trick question there. We're going to change the password for J. Henderson. And the password for her was 8899RR. Okay. So we'll type that in. 8899RR. Do it again. 8899RR. Perfect. So now we're actually going to check our work for the task number 4 here on the homework. It says use cat command on Etsy folder to learn more about the 3 new users we just created in steps 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So let's clear our screen, get a little bit of space back here. So cat, and hopefully you guys remember it's the Etsy password file, okay, that actually contains all this info. So we'll hit enter. I'm going to scroll the screen up for you a little bit here so you can see it. So we see the 3 there. We see Alex, which was just a regular user add, so Alex, home directory. Tom, and then the custom home directory we did for him, so home/directory1. This week, you see Jay Henderson, and we see that comment here, Jessica Henderson, okay? That's where the comment goes in this file. You'll notice the other two don't have a comment section because we didn't specify a comment for them, okay? So now we've proved to ourselves that those IDs were added, and it has everything that we wanted to add for them. So let's move on and look. Oops. Sorry about that. Let's move on to the next part of our homework. So we're going to use the cat command to output the contents of shadow file to the Etsy folder. Okay? So we're going to create a new file here. So we're going to do cat/Etsy/shadow. We're going to name it, well, we're going to redirect that to a new file called /3new users. Okay? So what we're doing here is we're taking the output of the /Etsy file, we're redirecting it to the input of this new file. So it's going to throw everything into this new file. Okay? We'll hit enter. Now this file didn't exist before, but since we're specifying the file name and we're throwing contents into it, it's going to go ahead and create that file for us. Just to prove that, we're going to do cat/Etsy/3newusers. And guys, you might be wondering, how does cat know that this is the file? So we're giving the full path here, right? I couldn't just do cat3newusers because we're not in the Etsy directory. But as long as you give a full path for the cat file, we can cat any file from anywhere in the system as long as we give the full path. So we hit cat, and there you go. We see all the shadow file information in this new folder. You'll even see the new users here, like Alex. And you'll notice that the password is encrypted on these guys, okay? Doesn't show it in plain text. Let's clear our screen, get some space back here, and let's go back to our homework. So we're going to get number 6. Let me scroll down a little bit so we see the rest of the homework. So number 6 says, set Alex account expiration date to November 1st, 2020. All right. So let's go back to our VirtualBox. So we're changing the age information on this account, right? So we're going to do change age capital E for expire, and it goes in year, month, day. So we do year, which is 2020, month, which is 11, and day, which is 01. Okay? We have to specify for which account, which is Alex. We'll hit enter, and that's done. So let's look at step number 7 here, which is set password expiration dates to something like September 4th, 2020 for Tom. Now notice this is different than account expiration. We're also going to have to adjust the age data for Tom's password. So this is a little bit of a tricky one, guys. So we are still using change age. We're going to set the max days, and I'm going to do it for 12. Because September 4th is 12 days from me, okay? So this number might be different for you guys. You just have to figure out how many days are between now and September 4th, all right? Now I got to supply the account I want to change the max days for, which means the max number of days before we have to change the password. So I'll hit enter. Now we got to do one more thing here. We got to do change age again, -D0 Tom. So what this is doing is it's setting the last day that this password was changed, which will be 0. Okay, meaning that 0 days ago that this password was changed. Effectively, what this is doing is it's forcing Tom to change his password as soon as he logs in. Okay, so if I were to log in as Tom right now, I would have to change the password, and then 12 days from now, I would have to change it again, meaning on September 4th, I would have to change the password. So that was a bit of a tricky one, guys. You can't actually set a specific date for when the password needs to be changed. So we had to kind of use the system, how it's built a little bit, to actually set it to where it would change on September 4th, all right? Keep in mind, though, that when you change it on September 4th, you're going to have to change it 12 days again after that. So Tom has to change his password now every 12 days from now. Let's look at the next part of the homework, okay? Which is number 8 here. And it says run cat on Etsy Shadow again to check the changes made in 6 and 7. All right, let's do that. Cat... Oops. /Etsy/shadow. Alright, let me move the screen up here. We're going to look at Tom and Alex. So Tom, you'll see here, that his max days is 12, so he has to change the password in 12 days. And we also see 0 for the day since his last password's been changed. Okay. Now Jay Henderson here, we see the weird number here. This is an odd number, and that's actually for when the account's supposed to expire. Okay. There is an easier way to look at this though. I'm going to show you that now, and it's actually using that change age command again. Except what we do is we do change age -L for list, and we supply the account name, Tom. And you'll see here it says password must be changed for all these, and it changes max days as 12. Alright? Let's do the same thing, except let's do it for Alex. And there you go. You see that Alex, the account, is set to expire on November 1st, 2020. So that's a little bit easier, cleaner way to view that info. It's change age -L on the account you want to look at. Let's look at the next part of the homework here, which says run command to lock Jessica's account and then unlock it. And then run cat before and after to see the difference. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's do cat/etsy/shadow. Let's make it easy on ourselves. Let's do a pipe grep Jay Henderson. Okay, so remember grep will look for that specific word or phrase in the Etsy shadow file. So we hit enter, and there you go. So we see this file. Okay, we see your password. We see the password age configurations there. Okay, let's go ahead and unlock her or lock her account. There's 2 ways we can do this. We can use the password command. We can use the user mod command. I'm going to use user mod. That makes a little bit more sense to me, so we'll do user mod. Okay, -L and Jay Henderson. Okay, now let's run that cat/etsy/shadow grep Jay Henderson again. And can you guys catch the difference here? It's pretty small and it's hard to see, but oops. You guys see that little exclamation point there? That means her account is locked. Notice that isn't up here before we did it. Okay, so that little exclamation point means Jay Henderson's locked. So how do we unlock her? We'll do user mod again. Can you guys guess the flag we're going to use? It's going to be capital U for unlock and Jay Henderson. Let's run cat/etsy/shadow again. And grep that, pipe grep to Jay Henderson. And you'll notice the exclamation point is gone. So Jay Henderson's good to go. Her account's unlocked. She's free to use the system again. Alright, number 9, it's just simply asking what is the command for adding a user with the non-default shell. So how do we add a user without the custom shell? Okay, so how we do that is we are going to use the user add command, just like we've been doing. User add. Okay. We're going to give it the username. So we could do Jay Henderson. Well, we've already created her. Let's make up another name. Let's just say test. Okay. Now, if we want to give them a specific shell other than the normal one, we can do -S for shell, and you would supply the shell. So in this case, I could do like sbin/no shell. Okay. Or no login. Sorry, not no shell, but no login. And we're setting a different shell than what is the default shell. So that -S is how we set a specific shell for the user. Remember, the shell is what we see here, this command line. Now, if I were to actually type in this command and we create the user test, and they actually would not be able to have a command line interface here because I'm giving them a no login shell, a non-interactive one. Okay, so test could log in, they just can't do anything. They just can't interact with the system. This is typically reserved for like daemon processes and system users. Okay, they can't like type commands in, but they do still need to access the shell. Okay, so that's how we do that one. I'm not going to hit enter. So we don't want to create a user without a shell. That's how you do that one. That's how you do number 9 on the homework, that -S option. Now it says number 10, repeat step 7, and instead of setting password to expire on September 4th, let's set it to expire every 90 days. Okay. So we're going to do a change age again. Okay. -M for max number of days before the password has to be changed. We'll do 90, and we're doing it for Tom, because in step 7 we did it for Tom. Let's go ahead and prove that that is different. So we'll do change age -L for Tom to list the expiration dates. And there you see there that the max number of days between password change is 90. Okay. So congratulations, guys. You finished part 1 of your homework. As always, if these concepts are still a little bit tough for you to understand, go back to those PowerPoints and look at those links for the private tutoring sessions for Linux. There are monthly and weekly plans available. That's going to help you guys so much to cement these ideas in your head to get that one-on-one attention that you need. So thanks for joining me on part 1 here, and looking forward to seeing you guys in part 2.